going to go ahead and start, even though Gary is bringing in groceries. And hopefully you won't be too distracted by that. I'll get rid of this chair. I had that last night when I was interviewing Sean and Brandy. Okay. Hello everyone who's coming in. I'm believing I'm going to have a lot of people here on our last day of this challenge, day 5 of 5 steps to becoming a great homeschool parent. There's Anna. Thank you, Anna, for coming in. I so appreciate it. So, hello to Anna. Do I sound like Tigger? Hello, Pooh. I have a few things I wanted to show. That Times Tales math program that I was talking about that helped my visual students. See, this is in this first edition they called this number 6, they called them first graders because they're 6 years old. And then this number 8 is Mrs. Snowman, and this is Mrs. Week, because 7 days in a week, so you do a little teaching of how many days are in a week too at the same time. You've got the number symbols here, and there's the 9 is the tree house, and so you have 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then it shows. So you want to get them to say first grader, Mrs. Week, Mrs. Snowman, tree house. And then they have a picture to look at and study, and then a little saying that goes with it. Mr. and Mrs. Snowman eat 6 snow cones 4 times a day. And from this, they can learn that 8 times 8 is there's 6 snow cones that they each have. 6 snow cones, and then they eat all these 6 snow cones 4 times a day. So 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 8 is 64. And believe it or not, they learn that. And then here's the same picture without the words at the top. And so they say, Mr. and Mrs. Snowman eat 6 snow cones 4 times a day. 4 times a day. My goodness. It's a good thing snow cones aren't fattening, especially when you're made of snow. So then we have the next one. The next story is first grade class, which are these 6s. The first grade class visited the tree house, which is the 9, and put up 54 Christmas lights. So they have, these are 54 Christmas lights here. And so then the child, you say this saying over several times. The first grade class visited the tree house and put up 54 Christmas lights, and have them study the picture. The first grade class visited the tree house and put up 54 Christmas lights. And then you have them say the saying again, say the story again without the words written at the top. The first grade class visited the tree house and put up 54 Christmas lights. So 6 times 9 is 54. I'm just going to stop pointing at things. And then this one is Mrs. Week and Mrs. Snowman were driving together and went 1 mile over the speed limit. So that's 7 times 8 is 56. I just can't stop pointing. And then they do it without. They say Mrs. Snowman and Mrs. Week went, what did they do? They were driving together and went 1 mile over the speed limit, and they don't have the 55 written here this time. The child has to remember. and then it's 7 times 8 is 56. So there's that's the big flip chart book, and then there's a smaller flip chart book, and these are for the upper times tables, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which are the most difficult. So in this one they changed the story, and this one also added a 3 and a 4. And a 3 looks like a butterfly, and a 4 looks like a chair. And the 6th grade class played musical chairs for 24 hours, so they can get 6 times 4 is 24 from that. 6 times 4 is 24. The 6th grade, and they changed the 6s to 6th graders instead of 1st graders. I'm sure, I always thought that was kind of strange that they called the number 6 1st graders. They were thinking of the age of 1st graders, but this I think works better. 6th grade class played musical chairs. It's like it's the 4 in there, the chair, for 24 hours. Boy, I bet they were tired after all that. And so then it has just the picture without the story up there. So then they have to say the 6th graders played musical chairs for 24 hours. And from this, they learned 6 times 4 is 24. Isn't that amazing? And it really, really works for visual kids. So I wanted to show that. This is audio theater, and this is a good way to get good stories into your homeschool day without you having to do all the reading. If that's not your thing, if not reading aloud is not your thing, audiobooks are really good, and these are good because they're acted out by all of these actors, these voice actors, and like actors. I guess I haven't heard of any of these, but this is by what are their names? It's Bill Hyde, H-E-I-D, and he calls his company something. The Extraordinary Adventures of G.A. Henty, executive producer Bill Hyde, producer John Fornoff. Oh, it's just infreedomscause.com. Live the Adventure. I think they're called Live the Adventure. But this one is about the real story of Wallace and Bruce, like Braveheart. And G.A. Henty wrote the book that has this adventure in it. And G.A. Henty writes really good adventure stories that boys like especially, but girls like them too. I like them too. And so if you see G.A. Henty books somewhere, or you can get them on Amazon, several of his stories are like public domain, and you can get them for free. And they are really good, and they're historical fiction. And the main character is usually a boy around 15 or 16 years old. So those are really, this is just one of many. He has made several, and they're acted out very well with all their voices and all the sound effects and everything for audio theater. I have several of those, but I just brought that one over. This is a good book for choosing good stories to read to your kids. Read for the Heart, whole books for wholehearted families. And Sarah Clarkson wrote this. She is Sally Clarkson's daughter, oldest daughter. And their ministry is about wholehearted, everything about wholehearted families, wholehearted children and stuff. And let's see. Sarah Clarkson is a freelance writer and avid blogger who wishes the whole world loved books as much as she does. Oh, Sarah is currently working on a children's novel and a collection of essays. And she has gone to college at Oxford and graduated, and she did a lot of divinity studies and married a Church of England. Oh, what is his title? I can't remember his title. But since she wrote this, she has done all that and had 2 children. So, but this is full of titles of good books and a little bit of explanation, description of each story, and she has put them in like picture books, category of picture books in the first chapter, and then children's fiction, golden age classics like Little Women, Little Men, and she tells who the author is, and so you can find these at the library. The Little Princess, The Secret Garden, Little Lord Fauntleroy, Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Mary Mapes Dodge, Hans Brinker, or The Silver Skates, Kenneth Grahame, The Wind in the Willows, all those classics. Then children's fiction, Elizabeth Goudge. I have not written her children's book yet, The Little White Horse, but I have read a lot of her novels for adults, and they are so wonderful. Sean and I read them together. We love them so much. And she has fairy tales and fantasy, history and biography, spiritual reading for children. So this is really good. There are several really good books to find, good suggestions of books to read to your kids out loud. So, it looks like, Anna, it's just you and me, kid. I wonder if Patty will come on today. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about before I dive into our subject for today? You are qualified. You can do this. Yeah, that's all the books I'll talk about right now. I could talk about books forever. Couldn't I, Anna? I have not enough books, right, Anna? I need more. There's still more I want. I know things that I have on my list of books that I want. Okay, so I have known many homeschoolers over the years, and we are all unique. We all have different personalities. We have different reasons for homeschooling. We use different methods, have different styles, different ideas of what is right, what is important, and what is necessary. Some have been teachers in the past. I have met many homeschoolers who were public school teachers or even private school teachers before, and then they chose to homeschool their own children. I was a teacher in the past. I was a first grade teacher in public school. Some have other career backgrounds, and some have always wanted to be wives and mothers, and then homeschooling became part of that calling. Whatever your personality, temperament, educational background, career background, or teaching experience, you can homeschool your children. If you have that desire or urge, or feel that tug in your heart that you are called to homeschool your children, then God will enable you to do it well and to be the best teacher for your children. All it takes is the desire to do what's best for your children and the willingness to learn along with your children. Like Sean was talking about last night, I have learned so much right alongside my children, and I just am amazed at how my interests have expanded. And when I play the game 20 questions with some friends, I do so well. I win every time. I have learned so much. I've learned trivia. I've learned I'm pretty good at associations. I always have been really good at like multiple choice, but I'm just amazed, and they all just look at me like, how did you know that? And I'm like, well, I'm a homeschooler. So it's really, really great for your kids and for you. You just learn and learn and learn, and if you love to learn, it's an amazing thing to learn along with your children. If you come up against something that is beyond your ability to teach or explain, there are many online resources, videos on YouTube, DVD series, online classes, so many possibilities. Some of these things are free, some charge a monthly fee, some can be expensive. You can compare and choose what works best for you. You may even know someone who can help with a subject that is not your strong suit. But you are qualified and you have the right to direct the education of your children. And it doesn't have to be expensive. When I tell some people about homeschooling and, tell them that I do it and they could do it too, a lot of times the first thing they say is it's expensive, isn't it? And they say, I've heard that it costs a lot. And I'm just like, who were you talking to? You weren't talking to me, because it hasn't been expensive for me. In the past, people, when I was doing assessments especially, people would give me curriculum. They would give me books that they were finished with or that didn't work for them. And other homeschoolers do that a lot. They will just give curriculum away when they're finished with it. Some will have curriculum sales and they will sell them. And you can get good deals there. There are curriculum places online that are like curriculum swaps. Homeschool swap on vegsource.com. I haven't been there in such a long time. I haven't had to buy curriculum much lately. But and then there's christianbook.com, and you can look around, compare the prices and see what you really need in curriculum. Even if you end up with a full package curriculum like Abeka, you do not have to buy every book, every workbook that they sell. You can just pick and choose, and it does not have to be expensive. I use the library most of all, and that's free, except when the books are late and I have to pay fines. But it's pretty much free. And some of us have a harder time returning all the books than others. So that can get expensive. There are websites that offer electronic resources and downloads and printables that are free or very affordable. A lot of homeschool bloggers have printables that are free or, don't cost much, $2.99 or whatever. You should not let cost be a factor in choosing whether or not to homeschool. It doesn't have to take all day. There are many options for scheduling and ways of using your time so that it only takes a couple of hours each day to get plenty of learning time in. Don't think that you have to schedule time for every subject every day. Don't try to make your schedule like a classroom schedule in a school. Homeschooling is more like tutoring. You don't have the distractions or classroom management problems or paperwork that classroom teachers have to deal with. So your on-task time doesn't need to be more than 2 or 3 hours, less with younger children. You should gauge the amount of time you should spend on a subject by your child's attention span or ability. And you should really try to keep them interested and excited about what they're learning and not insist on a certain amount of time, but go by their body language and eagerness or lack thereof to determine how much time and even whether a subject is something you need to assign them to do at this moment. You can do it even if you have a job outside the home. When your children are young, this may be more difficult since someone else might have to be the one to direct the teaching time while you are at work. Yes, right, Anna. KhanAcademy.com. I'm pretty sure it's still free, and it's great for math, at least for middle school, high school age. Yes, that's a great way to have your kids be able to work along, and it's a lot more interesting than just a math book. And there's videos, and yeah, that's a really good website. Thank you for the suggestion, Anna. That's really good. Okay, so your on-task time does not have to be all day long. It doesn't have to be as long as the school day at school. And don't make them work past the threshold of their attention span or ability. And you should really try to keep them interested and excited about what they're learning, and not insist on a certain amount of time, but go by their body language and eagerness or lack thereof to determine how much time and even whether a subject is something you need to assign them to do at the moment. I did that again, but maybe somebody needed a repeat of that. Oh yeah, you can do it even if you have a job outside the home. When your children are young, this may be more difficult, since someone else might have to be the one to direct the teaching time while you are at work. Or you could teach them after you get home from work. I know people who work outside the home but still homeschool their children. It can be done. It may not be easy, but if you are determined, you can find a way to make it happen. When your children get older, they can do much of their work on their own, and then you can just check in with them when you get home to make sure that they are moving forward in their education. And I know babysitting comes in there too, so there are some extra things, extra hoops to jump through. Maybe you can work from home and be there so that you don't have to get a babysitter, and then you can kind of just have your breaks where they come, and you can help and make sure that they're doing their schoolwork. And you won't mess up your kids for life. I know that's a common fear among people who are just starting out or thinking about homeschooling. On the contrary, you are doing the best thing for them. Think about what you're saving them from. You're keeping them from bullying in a place where there's nobody to advocate for them. And Sean and Brandy talked about that a lot last night when they were on here. Their video is in the group, and that was a big subject for them. And Sean was really glad that I didn't send him to public school or a private school or any kind of school, because that would have been really hard on him. And I think it's hard on all kids, but especially for really sensitive people. And like I have said a couple of times, I don't think my kids would have fit in too well with classroom type of instruction. Kids in public school or other institutional settings are on their own. Parents often don't know what their kids are going through when they're away from them, interacting with a bunch of strangers with lots of different ideas and values, and many young people who are immature and possibly susceptible to mob mentality. Don't worry about that age-old objection to homeschooling. Socialization. We all know what comes with that. Lots of negative stuff. The socialization that is happening in public schools, and I think a lot of private schools, is like turning our kids into socialists. And just look at what's happening on the streets, the rioting and everything, and kids who have turned against our country, against America, and against their own parents and parents' values. A lot of that has come from how they were socialized in public schools, and I think it has seeped into private schools and Christian schools too. So no, I don't want my kids to be socialized and become socialists that way. Your children can experience caring, appreciation, support, edification, and motherly love at home in your homeschool. The chances of them coming out with their self-image intact are greatly increased. It's up to you how you want to set the atmosphere in your home. But I would be willing to bet it's going to be a safer, more secure atmosphere than at a school. And academically, they will flourish. if you give them the tools and resources they need to learn all that they can. Teach them to read and write and do arithmetic, then provide lots of good books for them to learn from and other resources. If you do that, you have given them a great foundation. What they choose to do from there is up to them, but you certainly will not have messed them up in any way. And you don't have to know everything. In fact, it's impossible for one person to know everything. Nobody knows everything. Not even teachers in public school or private schools. Not even college professors or PhDs. So why would you think you have to know everything about every subject to be able to teach your child at home? There are so many ways to learn what you want to know about everything now. The internet, thousands of books at the library, probably more books in your home than you can possibly read if you're anything like me. There are lots of options and possibilities for learning. Just ask Google or Siri. So don't worry if there's something you're not good at, you don't understand, or you can't explain. Ask someone or something else. You can find a way to get answers and help for your students. Knowledge has never been easier to access. So don't let this fear stop you. You are qualified. You can do this. This is the best thing you could ever do for your children, and it doesn't have to be difficult. You make it how you want it to be. It's your deal. Do it the way that works best for you and your family. Ask God to help you figure out what that way is for each of your kids. He will help you. He is very supportive of homeschooling. He loves you and your kids and will help you every step of the way. You and God can do this. So, I have covered those 5 steps to becoming a great homeschool parent. And if you want to know more about the things that we have done in our homeschool through the years and the basics of learning and homeschooling, I have written an e-course titled The Basics of Learning and Homeschooling, because I want to empower and support moms who are just starting out and help them know the basics of how children learn and what strategies and tactics work best, and that there are different ways of teaching different things, and that we need to really look at our child, study our child, and find out what learning style is best for them, and so what kind of curriculum would work best for them. So those are the steps that I have found to help me be the best homeschool parent that I can be. I learned those over the years and from a lot of the reading that I did. So if you want that course, I'm still tweaking it a little bit, and I will put it in the group as soon as I get it all ready to roll out. So look in the group for that link that I'm going to put in there. And if any of you would like to have some mentoring, I'll have that available too, and I'll put that in the group for how that will be set up. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching the replay of the videos, and I hope this has helped someone. And thank you, Anna, for joining me live, and I will just sign off for now. I have other books I could show you, but I will just make myself quit here. Thank you so much for joining the challenge, and I will see you the next time. I will probably do this challenge again, and if you want to sign up for that, be watching for that on Facebook. Thank you. Bye.